Yeah, years ago, when I come out about 1978, I moved to Lewisham, yeah. Um, I was in prison with a guy called Cliff Fields. Met him, Sea Wing, and just had a good talk to this guy, good fighter. Said to me that he was going to do unlicensed fighting when he get out. Am I interested? I said, of course I am. You know what I mean? Anyway, when I got out, I moved to Lewisham and started training really well, going to hilly fields, all round there, hilly fields, Blackheath, training, running all the time. And I was about 19.4, 19.5, big, powerful boy, yeah? So then I decided to go to Thomas of Beckett and train up there. Went up there one day and I met this guy called Steve Riches. His name was Columbo later on, yeah? So me and him used to train together. Pads, bag, do a little bit of sparring, bits and pieces like that. And one day, I was in there. Columbo wasn't there. Steve Riches wasn't there. And a guy walked in with a couple of guys, and his name was Jimmy Tippet. So I started on the bag. He came up to me, he said, all right, mate. He said, what are you up to? I said, just training, mate. He said, what are you training for? I said, well, fighting. I want to fight. He said, what, professional fight? I said, no, mate, not at all, really. I couldn't get a licence anyway. I just come out of prison. So he started talking about what I was nicked for, this, that and the other. I said, are you interested in unlicensed fighting? So I said, yeah. I said, I talked to a guy in prison, a guy called Cliff Fields. He went, I know Cliff. He said, yeah, he does unlicensed fighting. He's going forward all the time, yeah. He's bashing people up all the time. I went, yeah, he's an hard guy. I met him, he was a really powerful guy, yeah. Anyway, so I'm in the Beckett training, and he came up to me, he said, look, do you want to fight? I said, of course. He went, okay, I'll see what I can do. About 2 or 3 days later, I'm in the Beckett, he's training me, he comes out, I've got you a fight. Down at Harvey Social Club, you fancy it? I said, yes. Went down there, went in there, bang, bang. Done the geese in the first round, knocked some spark out. Lovely, 300 quid. I thought, this is what I want. I want money. Money's important to me, yeah? So back down to Beckett, back down there training. He said to me, I've got another fight for you, do you want it? I said, yeah, well, of course I do. Bang, went down it, bang, spark out. I thought, yes, this is the game for me, this is what I want. And then after the second fight, he said, look, I've got you another fight, if you're interested. I went, yeah, of course. He said, there's a guy called Brian Hall at the Rainbow. And I went, yeah, I'm interested in that. He said, he's a good fighter, mate. You know what I mean? He's had some fights, mate. He's a good fighter. I said, yeah, I want it. Anything that's going to make me go forward, I want to fight. So anyway, jumps in the ring with this guy, done 8 rounds, yeah? I thought I won it, but it became a draw. I was satisfied with the draw. I was satisfied, really satisfied. Everybody cheered, everybody loved the fight. It was what I wanted. As I jumped into the ring, I trod on the geezer's foot. Not trod on his foot, but you know what I'm saying. This guy called Lenny McLean. I was about, I don't know, 18.6, 18.7, maybe a little bit more. He was about 16 stone, maybe, 16 and a half, 16. And he started saying he's not the guy. Anyway, we were shouting on each other in not in a nasty way, in a quite pleasant way, really, but shouting still. So I met Vic Andretti and a guy called Frank Woman. So I started saying we're going to meet Lenny and this, that and the other. Anyway, I'm down in Beckett with Jim. I know that Jimmy's going to get me some more fights. So I'm training really, really hard. Don't forget now, I've had 3 fights, 2 fights I've knocked out. One with a guy called Brian Hall, and I'm not everybody watching the fight respecting me for the person I am, yeah. So Jimmy's gone to me, look, what are you up to? I said, not a lot, Jim. What are you up to? He said, look, are you interested in doing any enforcer work, like debt collecting? I went, yeah, of course. Anything with money, Jim, I'm up for it, yeah. He said, look, I've just got to go down KWP Motors and meet Eddie Richardson. You fancy coming? I went, yeah, of course. Goes down there, sitting down there with Eddie. with Jim, having a chat, and Jimmy's saying to Eddie, what's up about this fight in Barking? You know, all the fighters, Eddie, have had tickets, yeah? And most of the tickets have been sold. And, you know, I'm getting it's like people telling me now, is this fight on or not? Because there's so many tickets being sold. And one of the fellas who's having a go at me is a guy called Sid Paddock from Southampton. Him and his brother called Kevin Paddock. So they're both heavyweights, yeah? Anyway, so they're going into one about the selling all these tickets money and nothing's happening. And it's in Barking, Town and all. So we're down there to meet Frankie Warren. So we're sitting there, all of a sudden Frankie Warren walks in with the guy, Lenny McLean. I don't, you know, I've heard about him, this, that and the other, and, you know, just as he was, what he was or whatever. I was going to go spar with Lenny later on with a guy called Vic Andretti down at a pub called The Ring, but I hadn't done it yet. So he comes in, Lenny, sitting down with Frankie Warren. So me, Jimmy Tippet and Eddie all sitting down the other side where they're sitting. So he starts it off. What's happening, Frank? You know, this fight in Barking, is it on or ain't it on, mate? Because all the fighters have sold most of their tickets now and they're going mad at me. What's going on? So then Frank got a bit leery with Eddie. Eddie told him to behave yourself, yeah? Which with Eddie Richardson tells you to behave yourself and you're in his yard, mate, I think the best thing to do is to behave yourself. So he ain't saying a lot, Lenny McLean. I ain't saying a lot either, but I'm a big guy. So Jimmy now is talking to Frank, but it becomes a shout, yeah, at each other. I thought, here we go, it's going to kick off here. So Frank then said the wrong thing to Jim. He went over the top with this. So Jim's walked up to let Frankie Warren fucking give it him, pointed, standing there, giving it to Frankie Warren. Frankie Warren, you could see that he didn't want it, mate. He was like, okay. And that was it. And then we sat down and Frankie Warren said, look, yeah, the fight's on. It's still on. Right, and they walked out. Then he walked out with Frank. So my heart's going like a good one. I thought he's going to kick off here with Lenny McLean and Frankie Warren, but it didn't, you know, because in the end, Lenny said to Frank, you're out of order for what you did there, mate. And Jimmy's got all the rights to say what he said, you know. He said, no, I thought he was going to kick off myself, yeah. So they went. You don't want a big fight in Eddie Richardson's place, mate, in the metal place at all. So my heart's going like a clappers now. So Jimmy's gone to me, look, are you interested in a fight in Barking, Town Hall? I said, look, is it on? He said, yeah, you just heard Frank, it is on. You know, shouting match, but you have to get it sorted out, right? You know, otherwise, you know, all them people that sold tickets are going to go mad at me. Then we've got to give money back. And he said, Frankie Warren gets out of his pram. So I said, look, I've got a fight for you, want it? With a guy called Kevin Paddock, right? I went, and he told me about Kevin Paddock. I went, yeah, I fancy that. And went down to Barking, fought Kevin Paddock, 8 rounds, and it was a draw. Good fight, mate. It was a fantastic fight me and Kevin had. And it was a draw, and I was happy with that. Kevin, hard man, got me in the ring, got me in a clinch, and started telling me, come on, let's fight properly. He didn't muck about, mate, you know. And then I fought his brother Sid. I bought Sid at Harvey's at Catch Whisker Stretton. That we got mixed up, me and Kevin, talking about all this years ago. So anyway, so now everything's on. The Barking one's on. I fight Kevin, Sid rather, and it's all Kevin rather, and it's all sorted out. Everything's lovely. So I thought to myself, oh, I'm so glad that Jimmy Tippet never walked up to. And then walked up to Frankie Warren and went over the top of it. You know, I'm so pleased that he wound up verbal rather than throwing punches. Lenny McLean, I've got to know more about Lenny now, and I've got to respect him as a fighter. So anyway, so it was all left. We all had the fights. Yes, Eddie had the fight. Jimmy Tippet was also a promoter. Eddie was a promoter. Also Frankie Warren. So it kicked off. It happened, yeah. And so we was gonna have more fights. And so I was really, really pleased that the way it went. You know. Anyway, just a quick story there. Bang bang Ray. All please press the like button and subscribe. Nice one.